Common executor mistakes during probate. When you are involved in probate, it can be a little daunting because of the paperwork, the courts, the judges, the attorneys, possible properties, personal items, being called and responsible for being a fiduciary, and much more. This video is for you to learn from other executor, administrator, and personal representative common mistakes. Here are the top 10 common mistakes executors make. My name is John Herman of Property Up, and our team provides services alongside your attorney. And we provide the service because the attorney normally does about 25% of the work, which leaves you with 75% to complete on your own. And we help executors during the probate process in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. The number one common mistake executors make is failing to communicate. You want to make sure that you communicate frequently with the beneficiaries or heirs during the probate process. Silence during this process leads to everyone's imagination going wild and sometimes creates stories within people's minds that may not necessarily be true. That can also lead to finger pointing, additional attorneys getting involved, and the whole 9 yards. So taking the time to keep the beneficiaries informed during the process can help you avoid a lot of unneeded issues. That's why it's number one, you gotta communicate. Number two, not following the terms of the will. Now the will is the only written instrument for the court to follow, and that needs to be followed by the executor as well. So even when someone tells you something during their life and before they pass and it's not put into their will, you still need to follow the will, and there will be other consequences if you do not. Number three is executor delay. Starting sometimes is the hardest part, but the quicker you start, the better you will feel. You are not legally required to start the probate process right away after someone passes. However, waiting too long after your loved one passes will lead to problems. Getting the process started in a timely manner is also important. As time goes by, taxes add up, the home may not be properly insured, along with creditor pressure, and the heirs and beneficiaries can get impatient. Number four, executors taking more than their share. Now, example of this would be buying a material item like a car or a boat or something of that nature for a much lower value than it actually is. So when the other heirs find out, that will cause trust to be lost and can cause the rest of the process to be a very bumpy ride. Number five, failing to provide all the probate asset information. This mistake is very costly and a time-consuming process to go back after the probate has been closed. The process already takes a lot of time and effort, so you want to make sure you do everything right the first time. Number six, don't pay out the heirs too quickly. Distribution of those probate funds to heirs before all the bills have been paid can be a very costly mistake. As the executor or the administrator, you must follow the probate laws of Illinois. If you fail to follow the law and you pay out any of the funds too early, you can actually be held personally responsible and liable for that amount. Number seven, not collecting probate funds in the estate account you should have already created. Now, this is a big one. As the executor or the administrator, your absolutely most important job is being responsible, managing the assets and the estate. To do this, you need to keep accurate records on everything you do. So when the time comes to pay taxes, make distributions to the heirs, and submit the final accounting of the probate, you are fully prepared. Executor common mistake number 8, confusing probate assets with non-probate assets. As the executor or the administrator of the estate, as soon as possible, you need to secure all of your loved one's assets in the probate before they grow legs and disappear. Some of my past clients have waited until they were officially appointed by the courts with letters of administration, but the other heirs, they didn't follow that process, and it became a huge problem. Now, the difference between a probate asset and a non-probate asset is the non-probate asset is something where there is an actual beneficiary designated, or there is someone else's name on the bank account or deed, so they are not probatable. Now, probatable assets, on the other hand, in most cases, just have your loved one's name on it. A bank account is a great example of that. Once you are officially appointed, you can take the documentation to the bank showing the letters of administration and the death certificate of your loved one. Then you can officially close that account and move the funds into the new estate account you created. For property, the home is prepared, marketed, and sold, and the proceeds from the sale are also added to the bank account that you created as well for the estate. Those assets need to go through probate. In most cases, now, an example of non-probatable assets are something that's held in a trust and it has beneficiaries. Retirement policies have beneficiaries as well. Common mistake number 9, handling tangible assets under your own terms. Now, tangible assets assets are something that you can touch and has value. Examples are like furniture, expensive art, silverware, computers, or other belongings that are in the house. It is not easy to divide tangible items, but those tangible assets also must be divided up equally. Many times when I'm involved with probate, the family works out a system to divide those items up. Executor common mistake number 10, ignoring claims against the probate estate. It's very common for people to pass away and have unpaid bills. If they are ignored by the executor, you, the executor, may end up personally responsible, and we do not want that. So those are the 10 most common mistakes that administrators or executors make. I hope that you found it educational and helpful, and please subscribe and hit the bell button. My name is John Herman of Property Up, and do me a favor, make it a great day. And let it be known we are here to work with you, for you, and get you through this situation.